Hello, Wonderhussy here, out in the middle of nowhere on a beautiful but blustery winter's day, exploring a part of the desert that's, well, north of Barstow, and apparently it's really popular with off-roaders, you know, side-by-sides and dirt bikes, because there's like 1,000,001 of them camped out here. I'm here just before New Year's. In fact, today's December 30th. Only 2 more days left in 2022. Thought I better get some exploring in to see out the old year and ring in the new. So I'm out here exploring this gorgeous desert, which has some of the biggest Joshua trees I've ever seen. I mean, you can see for reference, the one I parked next to is huge. Anyway, that's not even the biggest Joshua tree I've seen driving around today. I'll show you one on the way out that was even more massive. It was amazing, but what I was getting to is, because it's right before New Year's, I guess that's a popular time for off-roaders to go camping in the desert. So this is like the worst possible time for me to do what I'm doing, which is to drive around this, for me, unexplored patch of desert north of Barstow and check out a bunch of weird stuff I've had pinned on my map for a long time. The first of which is this old abandoned cabin. Looks like it was actually a house. Somebody lived out here, and a pretty decent sized house at that, with an attached workshop. I suppose that was a workshop. Oh yeah, look. There's like little lockers still in it. Oh, maybe this wasn't somebody's house. Maybe it was like a... Well, I was gonna say maybe it was like someplace people worked, but there's only 2 lockers. So somebody probably just got these old lockers and put them in their workshop for storage. And then look, a bird built a nest way up there at the very top. That's a big nest. Hate to see how big the bird was that built it. Anyway, through here, it looks like there was some kind of, oh my gosh, I don't know if this was a greenhouse or some kind of storage facility or what was going on here, but oh man, I don't know anything about this location at all. I'm guessing I saw a sign for a prospector up ahead, and I'll point that out in a minute. Maybe there was some old prospector living here. I'm sure there was tons of minerals in the, well, there's low kind of hills and mountains surrounding this area, so maybe some guy just lived out here and prospected. It looks like this might have been his well. It's all graded off now. They really don't want you going in there. But isn't that what that was? Oh, it almost looks like there's a gravestone up ahead. Doesn't that look like a little grave marker? Maybe that'll tell us something about who lived here. Oh yeah, this definitely looks like it was a prospector, because look, they got an old miner's pick on the grave, an old shovel, and it says right there, well, I was gonna say plain as day, but maybe it's not plain as day anymore. Old prospector Donald Kenny, R.I.P. Born 1916, died 1995. Wow, what a lifespan this guy had. 1916, so he was born during World War I, the first the influenza pandemic. I think Wilson was president, and he lived all the way through the Bill Clinton years. Let's just say the guy saw a lot in his life. And it looks like from the stuff that's been left on his grave, I'm gonna go ahead and guess some of this stuff, like that Modelo bottle, is probably just litter. But I think some of this stuff was probably brought here by people who wanted to pay respects to him. I'm guessing that's why there's this Manischewitz bottle here, because I really can't imagine that some off-roader left this here. I mean, like I said, there's a bajillion and 1 off-roaders camped out here this week, and I've seen every kind of beer bottle you can name, but I definitely did not expect to see a Manischewitz bottle. So I think that must be something that old prospector Donald D. Kenny liked to drink. And now I sort of have a image in my mind of old Don Kenny the prospector kicking back with an ice-cold glass of Manischewitz after a long day prospecting in this house. Oh, look, there's a hole in the ground here. What was this? Maybe that's where he worked on his cars. Oh no, look, is that a mine shaft? Oh my goodness, yikeroos. I mean, it's full of debris now, so you can't really see how far down it goes, but it looks like it went down quite a bit. I mean, look at the walls of that. Wow. Here's some more holes in the ground. I mean, maybe, gosh, this guy must have been mining right here on his own property. How about that? Oh gosh, look what somebody wrote on the side of this hole. No pooping. Yeah, just in case you accidentally thought this was a an outhouse instead of a... Oh gosh, look, there was a chimney on it. This was part of it, whatever was going on here. Huh, interesting. Maybe that was just for ventilation or something. Yeah, that just looks like it was some kind of little storage shed where he worked on or tinkered with stuff. Well, hold everything. No, there's a hole in the ground here too. Dang. How did this guy walk around anywhere without breaking his neck? He's got holes every which where. Man, wouldn't it be something if we stumbled on a hole full of empty Manischewitz bottles? Okay, well, now that I know a little bit about the guy who lived here, this house is pretty impressive. See if there's anything left at all inside. Oh, well, here's a warm welcome. Get out. Oh, and look at these. It's like sections of PVC pipe screwed to the wall. I wonder what those would have been used for. Maybe this is where he displayed his curios. You know, what if he had a Precious Hearts collection? What if that was something that no one ever knew about Donald Kinney? They knew he was this crazy old prospector who lived out here on the edge of the desert, and they knew that he didn't drink liquor, he only drank Manischewitz. But what they didn't know is that he was a secret Precious Moments fan, and he had the entire collection of all the figurines, and it's just a theory. Okay, anyway, let's see what's, even though it tells us to get out, let's see what's around the corner here. Honda. Okay, off-roaders. Thank you. Wow. Okay, well, let me zoom out. Go wide angle so we can see a little bit better. This is Jude's house. I mean, yeah, it's pretty nice from the outside, but it is pretty rough on the inside. So this, I'm guessing, was maybe a bathroom. I don't know. It had a cement floor, and it's this weird little room in the middle of the house, but it doesn't look like it was plumbed for anything. And I would think he probably just had an outhouse. So I don't know. Maybe that was just where he went to hunker down if there was a tornado. Which there aren't tornadoes in this part of the country. Oh, well, maybe the house was plumbed, because look, there's a pipe. And then there is a pipe coming out from under that central room, so, well, maybe that was a bathroom. Wow, fancy. Not much else to the place. Well, there's one room on the other side here. And, well, unfortunately, it's got some kind of half-baked graffiti on it, blah blah, the usual. But look at this. This is kind of cool. I noticed there's this board on the ground with some really old-timey handwriting on it. Look at that. It says, to something lumber company, Main Street, somewhere, California. Wow, isn't that wild? Like, somebody, I guess, sent a big pallet of something to a lumber company in California. And this was nailed to the front, and it's just laying in here after all these years. And you can still make out that beautiful old penmanship, and it's frankly astounding that some nitwit hasn't spray painted over it. Okay, so that was the room on the other side of the curio rack. Now, in the back of the house, there was one more room. I'm guessing back here was probably, well, I was gonna guess a bedroom, but maybe this was a kitchen, because it's got this shelf thing tacked up. Free samples, flavor of the week. Try some. Well, I don't see what the harm could be. It's like Alice in Wonderland. What if I put this rock in my mouth and the next thing, woo! Anyway, so yeah, it was just a little 3-room cabin. Probably had a real cool little table here with a beautiful view outside this window. I mean, like I was talking about at the beginning of the video, this is a beautiful desert with some amazing Joshua trees, and we'll just sit here and look out at that mountain. And you know, I'm sure he was just looking at all the different colors and sort of thinking about where he might go prospecting. Well, this would be a pretty cool spot to sit and do that. And then I guess back through here, I don't know, I guess that was like a bedroom on that side, and this was a hallway. And then this middle room was, I mean, I guess a bathroom. Look, there's a pipe coming out of it on that side too, but oh gosh, I don't know. Just seems really unlikely that somebody living way out here in these rustic conditions would have indoor plumbing. But then again, he did live until 1995. How many folks do you know that still used an outhouse in 1995? Well, out here in the desert north of Barstow, anything's possible. Okay, I happened to notice there's another one of these grated off holes over here too, so whatever he was digging for. And these are interesting as far as, well, I'm gonna go ahead and poke my phone through this thing here so maybe you can see down there. But usually with mine shafts, they're not like concreted around the top like this one. Like, let me zoom out so you can see what I'm talking about. See how it's like this perfect, beautiful concrete oval. I've never seen that with a mine shaft. Very interesting. So, I don't know. Can you see anything down there? Don't want to drop my phone. That would be a disaster. Okay, well, I might as well just get back in my car out of this wind and cruise on to my next destination. Like I said, I got a bunch of stuff pinned in this part of the desert to go check out today. But before I wrap this up, I am going to show you, I think I told you I passed a really big Joshua tree. And then there was one other kind of funny thing I passed. So I'll show you that on the way out. Okay, this is one of the things I wanted to show you. Okay, so when you're first driving into this lonely prospector's homestead site, there's this sign that says, Anita Pick, 80-acre placer. Okay, my understanding of that is there's two kinds of mining, hard rock mining and placer mining. And placer mining is like what they did back in the California gold rush days, panning for gold in the river. I guess you can placer mine without water too? Huh? I don't know. But I did think this was kind of funny. Anita Pick, and then he's got the classic shovel and pick across. Hey, I noticed too, driving over here, there's another little tiny cabin just over there. Let's go check that out before we leave. Uh-oh, better check this sign out. You can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose. The pick. Well, they make a good point. I mean, I suppose you could pick your friend's nose. It depends on how good a friend it is. And then, well, over here, there was probably a sign back in the day that said no trespassing. I don't know. But then look what that says. Mud monkey. Oh, I guess maybe that's just some graffiti from somebody who was here more recently. I don't know. The handwriting does look a little old-timey. And yeah, that's not spray paint. Huh, I wonder what that means. Mud monkey. I wonder if this was all part of Donald Kenny's operation. Like these were his signs. You know, he wrote this, he wrote the thing about Anita Pick and about not being able to pick your friend's nose, and maybe his nickname was Mud Monkey. Well, let's go see what this other cabin is. Because either he did it or maybe he had a neighbor. Yeah, look, there's another super cute, itty bitty, teeny tiny little cabin right over here next to another ginormous Joshua tree. How cute! All right, well, we better go take a look at this too. Look at this! Oh my goodness! Oh no! Look at this! These are like almost brand new shoes. I wonder what happened. Like, and these ain't cheap either. These Nike running shoes. I wonder what happened to cause somebody to lose two. Look how clean this Converse is. Oh my God! Two brand new shoes. Yikes! Could there be a dead body in one of these many open, well, sort of open, sort of clogged mine shafts? What about over here? Oh my God, yikes. I hope this ground doesn't collapse while I'm poking around. I don't know. They're pretty filled in. And this cabin looks pretty busted. Although it does kind of look like the type of shack where Abraham Lincoln might have been born. The Desert Abe Lincoln was born here. In the shade of a giant Joshua tree. Baby Abe Lincoln was born in the Mojave Desert on April 8th, well, I don't know. Anyway, this was just a one-room cabin. Gosh, nowhere near as fancy as the other house, although in a way, it's kind of fancier because there's windows. That other place didn't have windows, I don't think. And they're like framed in and everything. So, oh my God, look what a beautiful view. I mean, this could, it's still, the walls are still standing. It could have been a very cozy little cabin at one time. And to be honest, I can actually imagine living in a cabin this size out here in this gorgeous desert. Look, there was a chimney clogged with stuff from some bird now, but so there was a little wood burning stove right here. You would have stayed nice and toasty. Big enough for a bed, a table, couch, a chair. You know, the only thing I would miss is indoor plumbing. And gosh, that reminds me, I have not seen a single outhouse the whole time I've been exploring this property. So I don't know where Donald Kenny, the mud monkey, or maybe they're two different people, where these people were, well, dropping their mud monkeys, but golly, there must have been a pit or something somewhere. Anyway, wow, this, I'll be honest, this turned out to be way more exciting than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a kind of a quick stop, which it was, but man, I don't know. I really liked this little cabin. Look at how friggin' photogenic that is with the blue sky and the fluffy clouds and the Joshua tree. And oh man, this is the kind of stuff I love to find driving around the beautiful desert. But that other homestead was super cool too, because that one had the grave, and that one gave us the most information. Okay, on the way out, we're gonna stop at one more place. I'm gonna show you the biggest dang Joshua tree I ever saw. Okay, hold on. I know I said I was driving out of here and I was gonna show you the biggest Joshua tree I ever saw, but as I was driving along, well, you keep finding more interesting stuff out here. And this isn't really that interesting. It's just another fenced off pit, but there's this big trash pile next to it, or I guess small trash pile, that I thought was very evocative of our modern day. I mean, if you really get in close here on the trash pile, you can see what we have here is a collection of Cowboy Heroes VHS tapes. That's right, all these John Wayne movies. We've got The Lucky Texan. We've got Hondo. We've got The Dawn Rider. We've got Higher Than a Kite. Oh, wait. That's the Three Stooges. But we also have The Outlaw Josie Wales and Two Mules for Sister Sarah and all the old-time Western greats just rotting away here in a pile of trash, coincidentally, next to a dictionary that's, well, it's open to the entry for woman hater, but then I also noticed wonder is right below it. So at first I was going to make some kind of snarky speculation about Western movies and woman haters, but we'll just go ahead and assume they were looking up wonder because they were a fan of Wonderhussy. I mean, why not? That's a much better narrative. But then look over here. This also kind of ties it all together. A real old beer can from the days when men were men and watched John Wayne VHS tapes while looking up words that start with W. I don't know. I just thought this was kind of an evocative trash pile. I don't know that this has anything to do with Donald Kenny, Mud Monkey, any of the original prospectors who lived out here. Golly, the more I find out about this place, the more it seems like it was sort of like a Neverland, like a place where the lost boys all came out, the lost men came out here to the edge of the desert where they could, you know, watch John Wayne movies and drink Manischewitz and hate women. Okay, hold on again. I'm never gonna leave this area. As I was driving away, I came upon another giant trash pile, and I thought I would poke through it and see if there was anything interesting that I just had to have. I don't know. It's kind of a funky old chair. Well, actually not what I want to show you. What I want to show you is, while I was poking through the trash pile, well, I happened to see this depression in the hillside, and I walked over to take a closer look-see, and oh my god, it's a friggin' adit, I guess, and who knows what's inside. It kind of reminds me of that alleged Manson family bunker I went into once way up in the mountains in Death Valley. But since I do happen to have a powerful Olight flashlight with me, I thought, well, I might as well just peek in. Okay, let's see what we can see. I mean, first of all, it looks like people have been doing a lot of drinking in here. Oh my god, yeah, this does remind me a lot of that bunker. But it's full of trash, man. Do I even want to go in there? Well, it's too cold for snakes right now. And I am going home tonight, so I'll be able to take a shower, I guess. So why not? Oh, God. You ever hear the phrase, curiosity killed the cat? All right, well, it's just old curtains, beer cans, an old TV. In fact, let me zoom out. Oh, I don't even want to breathe in here. Oh, it does. It opens up quite a bit, though. Look. It's like somebody's survivalist bunker. Oh, my gosh. Let's just go walk over this tarp, which is probably full of dead bodies. This feels kind of squishy, but not body squishy. Oh my goodness, look at this. Wow. Oh my word. Somebody stashed water back here, and a mattress, and a really creepy busted old wagon full of junk, including another one of those old Western VHS tapes. I don't know if you can see that. And look, a bunch of Jesus candles. Oh my goodness, what was going on back here? Yikes. Hey, aren't those pliers actually kind of worth some money? Those clippers? Holy moly. Oh, what's this? Oh, I can't even tell. It's some old piece of electronics. Oh, it's like a radio or something? Oh, it's got an antenna on it. No, I don't know. The light's pretty weird in here. Can you read it? It says TV, film. Oh, TV, FM, AM. What? This is like some really old TV. Oh my God, it is. Look. This is probably worth money. It's like one of those old portable televisions people used to have back in the day before smartphones. Oh my God, what if I turned it on and it still worked? Wouldn't that be amazing? What if I turned it on and Howard Cosell was right there announcing the 1985 Bears-Packers Super Bowl? Actually, I have no idea who was in the Super Bowl back then, but it probably wasn't the Bears and the Packers. Anyway, golly, it does. It looks like they had a fire down here or something to do with these religious candles. And oh my goodness, I have no idea how hard up you would have to be to hide out in a freaking cave like this. I mean, oh, these candles are all burned out too. I was going to say I could use some religious candles, but they're totally burned out. Whoever was hiding out down here must have been using them for light. Golly, and then like this wagon is full of just the most unspeakable collection of filth. Even I'm not demented enough to poke through it, although, hold on. Never say never. Oh, I thought it was going to be like another bottle of Manischewitz, but it's just a meat marinade. A full sealed bottle of meat marinade. Oh, look, a Leatherman tool. Well, it's broken, though. Damn, there's some stuff in here that's like almost worth taking. You know, anybody need any rusty loppers? All right, well, I think I'm just going to make my way back out of here and just be glad that I am presumably going to make it out alive. Holy moly. But this was definitely, at least in my warped world, worth stopping in. Wow, well, don't say I never showed you any cool hideouts in the desert. I mean, now I have a really good lead on a place to hide out if I'm ever on the lam from the police. Ah, here we go again. Driving along, and I had to stop because I saw, apparently this is still a registered mining claim. Absolutely no prospecting allowed. This includes panning, sluicing, dredging, metal detecting, or any other activities that result in the removal of minerals. Daryl, can't make out his last name, but the name of his, well, he wrote it here under federal mining claim number, but it also says it here on the pole. Knowhere. Only he spelled it with a K at the beginning, so it's like no, like you know something, nowhere. Huh, interesting. You know how I'm always saying I'm out in the middle of nowhere, but I also like to do research and find out the history about these kinds of places. Oh, there's the friggin' off-roaders. Told you there was a bunch of them around. Anyway, from now on, when I say I'm in the middle of nowhere, well, this is what I'm gonna mean. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Okay, here we go. Told you I was going to show you the biggest Joshua tree I ever did see. And, well, I'll be honest, I did see an even bigger one than this farther down the road. But this one here is pretty dang massive too, and I figure I better wrap this video up before I run into anything else interesting. And it turns out to be a 5-hour video. Anyway, here's just a quick pan of how massive this Joshua tree is. I mean, if you're not familiar with Joshua trees, I mean, they're usually only about the size of this one here, you know, 1 arm, 2 arms. Every now and then they get as big as that guy over there with a bunch of different little arms. And, well, I guess that's why the Mormons called them Joshua trees, because they looked like a person. Sometimes they do look like a person. And I guess the Mormons thought they looked like Joshua from the Bible. But it's very rare to see one that actually gets this big and girthy like a real tree. I mean, look at this. I don't know if this is just one tree or 3 of them fused together, but oh my god, this thing is friggin' massive. I mean, this is like an actual tree. Look at that. Still probably not very solid, which is what makes it so impressive that this thing has stood here and grown for so long through these blasting desert winds, because they're not very sturdy Joshua trees. The wood is very foamy. So it's cool that this thing has managed to last this long. And gosh, on a hot day, it would provide some much needed shade, which typically Joshua trees don't provide that much shade. This is a really rare Joshua tree in a really rare part of the desert. I can't wait to get to my next location, which, by the way, if you thought that first cabin was cool, this second place is a real humdinger. Stay tuned.